Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Our heroes are regrouping in the mines before attacking the portal. Quinny had a battle of wills with an archer. Reginald won that same archer over, and Juniper discovered several secrets about Akkah. But what will happen now she's turned into a murderous werewolf? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
The wolf has emerged.
Oh!
There you go. There it is. Yeah. It's like you saw a pretty lady in a cartoon. You are the bite that has long simmered on your arm and that I've been making you roll d6s for like many episodes has finally come to light. The dark shape you saw flitting around in your mind has emerged.
If only Juniper could remember that.
Well, Juniper's not here right now, which is why I'm controlling your character. Everybody roll initiative.
No.
Oh, fuck.
Are you rolling initiative for me?
I'm rolling initiative for me.
Boo.
You can play the prison ghost in the meantime.
And I will.
Butthole gets a 15. Reginald gets an 11.
Good, because Quinny gets a 7.
And Juniper gets a... Oh, that's pretty low. Okay. Juniper only gets a 9. Cool. Top of the round. Butthole, you hear Laura's expert "ow," and turn to see a massive hulking form as the chair and body merge into a massive wolf-like shape that chomps down and bites off the head of Strongest Toe, whose name you don't know, but we do, and forever in our hearts.
Yep.
As blood gushes from his geysers from his neck and his strong-toed body collapses, ruining the pants that were the point of the competition. What do you do?
Okay. Butthole has talked with a were before.
Yes.
Because Scout Captain Crendon is a were. But I don't know if he'd immediately jump to this as a werewolf. So, Tom, could I do an insight roll to see if he knows what the fuck is going on? Okay. That is a 27.
Yes. So I think you can put it together pretty quickly. Also, like, you've seen Juniper transform a bunch. She's never bit someone's head off before.
Yeah, that's new.
That's new. That's a new one for her and for you.
And does this transformation look different than the usual change of persona?
It does not.
Okay.
Essentially, because of her changeling nature, the wolf, rather than just becoming a form that you transform into, has essentially been added almost roulette style to her personas. So it is trapped in there as one of the rotating people she can be.
Almost like it has a 1 in 6 chance of coming out.
Okay.
Almost exactly that. That's so uncanny.
I mean, Butthole doesn't know that. Butthole's just going to yell, "Oh, fuck me, werewolf," and he's going to run forwards. And he just wants to grab the, like touch, shove, grab, and he wants to cast Remove Curse.
Hello.
But it is a touch spell, so he does need to successfully touch.
All right.
Be able to cast it.
So let's go with a, I think it's probably going to be an opposed dexterity, because this is about speed of you grabbing and it evading. So roll a dex, unless it's a touch attack.
It's like a touch spell, so whatever that is. So like theoretically,
Okay,
in
no,
this
then
case,
you got to roll to hit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So would I be rolling with? Because I have not used touch attacks in possibly ever.
Your
spell attack bonus? Or
yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. 17.
Yes. So 17 will hit, and then, as I understand it, from Remove Curse, at your touch cures all curses affecting one creature or object. And all right, fair enough. So you grab hold of Juniper. What does Remove Curse look like in Butthole Magic? I'm so sorry, everyone.
Butthole grabs Juniper, and it's a touch attack, but as he's holding her, she just starts to glow gold. and then just a giant butthole appears on one side of her, golden in the air. That's like the size of her full body. And another butthole appears on the other side. And the one butthole just farts, and it's like a trumpet blast of light.
Ooh.
And it blasts all the curses out of her body, where the other butthole goes... It just absorbs all the energy. And they disappear.
I dread to ask, but these two golden buttholes, are they the man or the anatomy?
To the right, anatomy. That's the one that farts. To the left, the man. Just going, absorbs the magic, and then he just goes, and he disappears into like a rainbow.
God.
To be clear, though, the man is not an exact replica of current butthole and armor and everything. It's the man with the robes and the walking stick shaped like a hammer that the various halflings have seen at the castle. It's like the god, not the man.
I see.
In his representation of his current followers and believers.
It sounds like the equivalent of those guys who wear like the Man the Legend shirt with like the arrow pointing at their dick, except for you it's like the man, the god. It's just like another
And the god
behind you.
points to the left and there's like a golden outline, like he's got a fucking Jedi master he's lost.
He's got his own t-shirt that's like the me.
It's a young Obi-Wan standing next to the ghost of an old Obi-Wan.
Oh, hello there. Okay, fantastic. So you blast the curse out of Juniper, at least momentarily. Based on your conversations with Crendon, you do know that this particular strain is
Much more
the work
virulent,
of Chickless Nage, the Chaos Mage. So the sense you get as Juniper, you revert into probably moss, I would assume.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As you revert into moss and kind of like the chair reemerges, kind of almost catching you as you collapse, which will burn your one form of that for the day. You get the sense that you've managed to kind of like knock it away, but that it's still on the perhaps 1 in 6 roulette wheel, but that it will take much more to purge, particularly because she's a changeling Juniper of this, but the immediate threat is ended. So we can drop out of initiative order. Sorry, Quinny.
Great.
Oh, hey, no, by all means.
I was going to say, does butthole, that's a good thing for us to know mechanically, but butthole, does he know that he didn't ban it completely, or does he think he got rid of it?
Ooh, roll. And
That be an insight, I guess, or what would it?
yeah, you know what? Let's make it a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Because I think I could buy Butthole either believing that he did it or because of his conversations with Crendon not
The
believing
knowledge
it.
might, yeah.
But this is a gut, like, what does your gut tell you?
18.
18? Okay, I think you would feel like there's probably more to this based on your conversations with Crendon. Because otherwise you probably would have just cured Crendon.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like I think there's some lingering concern.
Great. Well, okay, that was kind of fucked up. Everyone, just so you know, also, we didn't know, apparently Moss here, looking back sees Moss before he says the name, making sure he's getting the right persona, is a werewolf sometimes. That's fine. We've dealt with the threat for now. If any of you are injured in a way that doesn't involve the removal of your head, I can bring you back, but unfortunately, I can't help this guy.
And Patty holding a bottle of blasting powder in one hand and a match, an unlit match in the other, was like, "You want for me to blow her up?"
No, Patty, we need that for the portal. Thank you for your enthusiasm. Juniper is still on our team. We're just going to have to find a way to work around the werewolfism.
Well, she's just lucky I'm bad at lighting matches.
I think you might be lucky about that too, Patty. Just a bottle full of explosives lit on fire.
Yep.
Be a sad way to lose Patty Two Eyes.
And Seraphina's just like, ugh, I knew it.
Thank you for that.
You knew she was a werewolf?
I knew she was no good. Lawyers never are.
She's not a lawyer.
She said she was a chief justice.
Yeah, she's like a judge.
Yeah. She's like, she makes and enforces the laws.
Oh, wow. That's so much more impressive.
Yeah, it is.
I wasn't being sarcastic.
Is that just how you talk?
Yes.
God, you're insufferable.
Butthole's just going to whisper to Juniper, I thought more people would be worried about the murderer, but let's let them
Oh,
argue
there is
loudly.
panic. There is
Yeah,
panic.
I
The,
know.
like the assholes are saying asshole things. The rest of them are like running away into the mines.
Honestly, I got grumpy for a minute, and then that happened.
Yeah, you killed a man. We're going to deal with that.
But
Reginald's like, everyone come back. I'm Reginald, the reborn. You are all going to be fine. Strongest toe was a real bastard, and he deserved it. He said that I was a son of a bitch, and that's why she killed him. Like,
roll like a persuasion deception at disadvantage.
He's not good at deception.
I don't care. Yeah, then stop deceiving.
I can't persuade. There's no good truth.
Yeah, well.
I mean, why roll again after that first roll? Yeah. The second roll is so good. That will be an 8.
8. Your injured Akkah folks fuck off into the mines. So they are. Patty Two Eyes is still with you.
At least we've got Patty.
You've got Pitch. Seraphina is lingering nearby, being like, whatever you say, Reginald. She's definitely Team Reginald, but the rest of them have fled from the
right, that's not sarcastic.
horrific sight of it's not the horrific sight of their compatriot having his head ripped off by the person they didn't know could change forms. It first turned into a troll and then turned into a werewolf and is now like a horrible Gary Busey monster. Cool. Juniper, I assume you do change back to Juniper?
No, because until she figures out what has triggered the change, okay, she's just gonna stay Moss.
Okay, well, huddle up, everybody who didn't run away. First of all, new friends who didn't run. Very impressed with all of you. Good bravery.
Good bravery.
Moss, that was bad.
Yes.
Do you know what caused that? Because I don't think it was the moon, because you've summoned the power of the moon a lot.
I've been Crunge before,
Yep, I've seen Crunch.
and it's been fine.
Were you Crunch since the time you got bit?
No,
Okay, so maybe it's Crunch. So I'm
maybe
gonna...
it's Crunge, but also, I let myself get annoyed, and I was rude. Maybe that's
I mean, that could, but
A rude wolf.
Yeah, a wolf of impoliteness.
I don't know. Maybe
I mean, Quinny's rude all the time, and he's never turned into anything.
I mean,
other than a hellish assassin,
Yeah.
and then kind of a good person for a bit, and he was a king for a while. Do you know what? Honestly, being rude seems to be really transformative after a certain amount of time.
I highly recommend it.
All right, so I would say this changes the plan not at all. We're all going to miss dead guy. I didn't learn his name. Let's just move forward.
strongest toe.
Oh, I don't care. He's dead. I'm not learning it now.
Juniper, are you
It's Moss.
right? Sorry. Yep, you're right. Sorry, Moss. I don't get to see you too often. Sorry.
Yeah.
Moss, you know all the same things that Juniper knew about explosives and
I
stuff,
do.
though, right?
I do.
But you're not willing to change your appearance at this time, is that right?
Not right now.
Okay, what if we have
So-
you? Okay, there's kind of like two things here that are warring conflicts within me. One, I really want to help you go through this whole experience emotionally and make sure that you're in a healthy place. And two, we are in a nightmare realm where an army is going to come if we don't do this job.
I know.
So here's the thing. I slapped that werewolf out of you so fast. And I can do that again if need be. Can you turn into somebody to go patrol this stupid portal right now?
If you're next to me and can stop that.
Okay, great. So the plan is still a go. We got to get there.
But you have to promise that I had no control.
Yeah, I understand. I'll be standing there with a hand on you while you switch around. Like, we can do that with the whole switcheroo. As long as I can touch you, I can slap that werewolf out of you so fast, I'll fart it into my mouth in a heartbeat. You didn't see the magic do that.
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
I wish I didn't see the magic do that.
Honestly, Moss just accepts it. Like,
Yeah, that's the best call at this point.
I just want to put it out there, if the transformation thing is a risk, I mean, we've obviously got a solution to it, but, creating an asshole and another butthole probably taxes you somewhat.
Oh, yeah, it's not like free, but it's not the worst.
Okay, well, I mean, we all packed potions for this little incursion. I know I've got a potion of soft step, muffles the sound of movement, plus my ring of invisibility. Moss could just be a bomb-planting ghost solo mission. She could drink the stuff, be silent. She could be invisible and go about her work.
I could do that.
And then she doesn't have to transform.
Okay, you guys are the stealth experts. This is not what I do. I try to combine expertise, but that's...
I mean...
Moss, are you good to, like, I don't know, go off on your own and be invisible and do, like, that work? Or are you going to be distracted by your current situation?
I think it's best for me to not be around people I might hurt right now. Unless those people are people we want to hurt.
That doesn't sound healthy, but it does sound useful.
I just don't... Honestly, I don't understand what's happening to me. I get it. I've heard of this, but I don't know how it's going to impact me.
Okay, well, bare minimum, can you identify for us the parts of the portal that need to be blown up? Because this whole thing is scuttled if you can't even do that much. Okay.
Okay. So, also, want to flag this for the Chief Justice. What just happened, I said murder, not true. You're sick. And that made a thing happen that you morally did not choose to do. You did not have what they call the mens rea. You didn't have the mental state to be able to commit that murder. You didn't know right from wrong. It was a wolf that did it. So you're not a murderer.
But did I call forth the wolf?
No. Well, I mean, did you know there was a wolf in you, and did you actively call it forth?
I got bit, so...
But did you know?
No, not for sure.
Did you suspect?
I don't know. I got bit.
Okay, this sounds like you're kind of rewriting history, because you never talked to any of us about possibly being a werewolf.
I know. I hadn't thought about it since I got bit. It healed and it was fine.
Okay, I stand by my thing. You did not know that was a thing.
When
That's
did you
not
get
you being
bit?
at fault.
I feel like I wasn't there for that.
Back in Cornucopia.
Oh yeah,
Back fighting
I was talking to
that
meeting
Chaos
really, Ginny.
mage asshole.
Okay, so not your bad. All I'm saying is not a murderer. This is an accident, but not your fault. You can still feel bad about it. I'm not saying any part of your emotional journey is wrong. I'm just saying you're not, like, there's not going to be a fucking trial over this shit. We know that wasn't you. You know that wasn't you. Quinny knows that wasn't you. Nobody here thinks it was you except possibly Seraphina, and that's fine.
No, it wasn't me. I just don't like having something in me that isn't me.
Oh yeah, I know how that feels.
I don't, but I'll help you keep it out of you. Okay, so we're going to turn her invisible, and we're going to let her blow something up. And she gets to do some violence while she's feeling emotionally unsatisfied. And as we all know, that's a healthy way to deal with things. Right, Quinny?
Weird thing to say, but yes, I agree.
I love you too. Okay, let's do this.
Stop that.
All right, here are your explosives. Give her the piss bottles.
Well, okie dokie. Seems like you're good for destroying stuff, so here you go. And yeah, she's put together... I think there's probably like four explosives.
Okay.
We don't even need the bag of holding then. I thought it'd be like massive amounts of explosives.
There wasn't a ton of blasting powder left in the mines.
Super. Okay.
Yep.
That makes it easier too.
Yep.
Okay, so if we send her in... let's go fucking scout this thing, then we'll figure this out.
I mean, I can keep an eye on her even when she's invisible, thanks to this thing, Mordenkainen's gift.
Okay, cool. So let's go scout this out, and then we can send her in, and if it turns out there's a bunch of other shit she needs help with, Quinny, maybe you can turn your footsteps off and be sneaky, and she can be invisible, and then she's got backup.
Okay, just don't let me see you.
You won't. I can promise you that.
Okay. Yes, we have to do this.
All right, I'm giving you this potion of soft step. You drink that when you're ready to go in quiet. And Reginald, ring of invisibility, please.
Quinny, do you want to take my potion of frost giant strength just in case something happens and I attack you or something?
I got other potions. I'm good. Don't worry. I'm worried about you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Quinny, why don't you take the ring for now so you can do the scouting, and then we'll trade it over to her when it's time.
Sounds good.
Great. He's got the ring. Okay, so we're all good to go. Patty, you stay here. Doc Huckleberry, you stay here with Patty and help round up the others. Also, we can't let them go into the city and say what happened out here. Goblin Jr., you're with us.
Snarf.
Why was that so funny? Just snarf.
Seraphina, we're also going to have you stay here for now, but we may need your contacts once we get into the city at some future point.
Well, just make sure they're all dressed for it.
I'll do that, I guess. Okay, let's go.
All right. You head sort of back up. At this point, it's probably dawn. Well, I guess it's like late in the evening, early dawn. Your short rest has become a longer situation because of werewolfing and having to sort that out. So you emerge to kind of that early light hasn't quite started to spread across the sky. There are still alarm klaxons going off throughout the city, and you can see now more of the patrol situation that Butthole you would have been used to in Akkah. Regiments moving through the streets. That said, they are smaller than you're used to, and it's again very clear that the resources of Akkah are somewhat taxed. More importantly, you can hear the moans of the undead. In addition to Akkah soldiers, it would seem that the most recently raised corpses are now also patrolling, sort of shambling through the streets, less as sort of units and more as almost, kind of like wandering alarms. Like just having a bunch of zombies wandering the streets is helpful to flag when there are enemies about and that sort of thing. So that's the kind of situation you're coming out into. Luckily, they didn't see any of you go into this area, so they're not patrolling your specific area. They're just patrolling the streets. As you know, you'll need to get cross town in order to get to the portal bridge. How do you intend to get across the town?
Knowing that we're shifting into daylight and it's the start of a day, it'll be like, wait until we can see, because Akkah has had a lot of alarms over its history, and it's a very warlike town, but it'll also mean that there are some people, probably not as many as previously now that it's a much smaller mortal population, that still have to go around and do things. So like when regular traffic starts, they just want to join regular traffic of whatever variety it is. Like it's walking with purpose. It's the thing I used to do around restaurants when it was slow and I didn't want to clean windows. It was like, walk like you have a place you need to be as though you belong and go where you're going.
Excellent. All right. So, I don't know what check we would make. That's probably, if you're just trying to blend in, I think I'd go with performance or deception. If you are trying to lurk in the shadows and kind of move through that way, you could roll stealth.
Quinny's probably going to do stealth. It's a great policy to have under almost any circumstances, just to try and go unnoticed, not even blending in.
I'm just proud of myself for not asking for investigation checks. It's a real personal growth for me.
21 on performance for Moss.
Yep.
Nice. 32 stealth.
Dirty 20 for Butthole for performance and a 14 for Reginald for performance.
Okay. Yeah. So with those rolls, you're able to blend in fairly well. Ryan, to your point, an alarm in Akkah isn't like an alarm in a peaceful place. It's just basically telling everyone to be slightly more alert, but they're not like, oh my God, an alarm here in these parts? What do we do? We've never seen this before. Like one of those peaceful planets in Star Trek that's always really confused when someone has a gun. So you're able to sort of blend into the traffic. The traffic is lighter, and I think you're starting to see as you move through the town, or the city rather, more of the evidence of the boredom and kind of displacement of the people of Akkah when they don't have a war to fight. There are a lot more soldier types going about what would have previously been sort of civilian jobs. There's like for you, Butthole, kind of looking at the streets, it's just everything feels slightly abandoned. Like it's just a part of like the whole town feels kind of like it's falling apart. And with I think the additional information you've received around Typhus's plans, it kind of makes sense that they're letting this place kind of fall to shit because they don't intend to be here for very long. So you pass the Black Castle with the sort of ethereal burning, golden burning flame that surrounds it, shot through with blue flames that just kind of crackle. Every so often, like a bird flies through, and the wall immediately leaps up to meet it. And it burns up, and kind of a puff of feathers. You can see that the warding appears almost to be a column. So it's not like it's a dome. It's just like from here to sky is a no-fly zone for for the castle. The parade grounds are being set up for the parade today. So you can see there's a lot of the folks that are moving through town are moving to get set up there.
This is the murder parade?
This is the murder parade.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You can tell though that a lot of low-level soldiers or less specialized troops are setting up the the boxes for famous people, and it would seem from the way it's being set up that basically the higher the rank, the better the seat you're going to have in the murder parade to see the horde. And based on what you've been told, it would make sense to you that they have to kind of sell how cool the horde is to really get everyone on side. There's obviously the dark spikes that are just all about it, but for the rest of Akkah, it's just easier if your soldiers are willing and excited. So you move past the parade grounds. Again, there's a lot of hustle and bustle around that, so that buys you kind of some time and space to move a little bit more easily. You can see the hospital in the light of day, and again, it looks there are a lot of guards posted around it. It's sort of heavily reinforced after your breakout. The window has already been boarded shut, and there's kind of interviews going on with the some of the folks who are injured. You can tell from the way the war wounded are standing that all of them are trying to present themselves as healthy enough to rejoin the fight, but are being generally ignored by the soldiers that are interviewing them. Moving past the barracks, it has been decked out again in pageantry, horde pageantry. There are bad knockoff banners that have been obviously made by the people who sleep there. To kind of look like horde. They've done a lot of the weird here's your logo and my logo. We combined them, and it just looks like trash. And you can see groups of dark spikes painting their armor outside. Some of them are putting it out to dry to make sure that they're in their best black and red for the murder parade. Passing that, you begin to make your way up toward the portal bridge. You can see the forge in the distance. It's a massive building, as you can imagine, for a nation state built around the god of war. They like making weapons. So it's kind of just a big, almost industrial factory kind of situation where it's just a big sort of heavy metal building. The smokestacks are cranking out black smoke, and they're clearly clearly the forges are in full effect. Quinny, you can see as kind of you're making your way towards the portal bridge, in the distance you can see the street that was indicated on the pamphlets. So the thrift shop is near-ish. It's not in your immediate vicinity, but you can see it from a distance. You clock it and kind of have a sense of how to get back there. And finally, you arrive at the portal bridge. So the portal bridge is a large construction project. Again, we can think of this as a bit of a Stargate situation. You can tell that they've basically tried to reverse engineer a Raven Gate. So it looks similar to what you saw in Ravenloft, but if it was being built from scratch. So not kind of an ancient gate left by mysterious people, but just literally, okay, well, we saw the mysterious thing. How do we build our own version of that? It's on a large, almost a top of a cliff sort of situation. You can see the wall beyond, but the wall is closer to this height. This would have been probably a lookout at some point for Akkah. If there was ever a desire for kind of art or reflection, this would be the warrior can go and meditate here and look out over very much all of this will be yours spot, sort of in the north end of the kingdom. However, they're using this to build this kind of massive octagon of stone, or this octagonal frame of stone. Around it, there are tons and tons of packed crates that bear the logo of Typhus Industries. Presumably these are the quantum cores that are being moved across. However, you can see a couple of them are open and they just have armor and weapons in them. It seems that the forge is cranking out gear as well. It looks like dumb Faerun gear, not Horde gear. So it's not like the Horde is manufacturing weapons here, but seemingly in preparation for Akkah soldiers moving across. They're building new weapons. That said, it is a partially completed gate, so it's not fully operational. You can tell there's a lot of scaffolding around it. It's clearly functional, but it's not fully functional.
It's a Death Star scenario.
Yeah, kind of. It's it's also different from the ones that you saw during kind of the big fight, kind of at the few seasons ago, where they had a gate where they were moving mages across. This thing doesn't look stable by any stretch, and the reason for that is pretty clear.
They've got a ZPM that isn't fully charged.
Probably. I still haven't watched the show, but yes, that.
A metaphor that only works for Laura at this table, but her and listeners.
Yeah, and then Kratos shows up and
Or
is
as
like,
Rodney
"Boy,
would say, ZPM.
activate this Stargate for me." That's what he said in that show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. So there are three very clearly important and very clearly eccentric architects who are working on this. And you can tell that they are the people working on it because they are in the middle of fucking screaming at each other. And it is three full-blown I'm an artiste meltdowns happening simultaneously. There's one with a large feather out of one of those big floppy hats from ye olde times, wearing very much almost Elizabethan wear. It's bright pink. It's got sort of a lot of cuffs. He's got like a big scraggly beard, and he's holding a tablet, not a cool modern tablet, but literally a tablet.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to say it like it was technological. The fuck with you. He has a tablet with a scroll on it, and a little like candle, and he's just like tapping at it aggressively with a pen. He's got like an ink pen. He's got a little pot on his belt, and he keeps dipping in it. And he just keeps pointing at it, saying like, no, we must, I'm telling you, we must move the angle slightly if we can catch more of the sun, if we can charge it for more time. If we don't do that, then I do not know how it's going to work. And there's an orc who is massaging his forehead so aggressively that like you can see he's losing hair over time as he does this. He has those weird fucking Wild Wild West sunglasses that like flip up and have all manner of like little, like jewelers goggle pieces and other things on them that are riding up and down on top of his kind of like small nose as he rubs his forehead. And he just says, "Yes, but we've been over this. It's not the sun that's powering it, so I don't know how having more sunlight is going to do a damn thing." And then there's a gnome woman who is has a bottle of wine in one hand and a glass in the other, and is just refilling it and sipping. Like she's not chugging it, but is clearly just done with this nonsense. And just kind of grumbling like, none of it matters if we can't sustain it. So sure, great, yeah, son, whatever, move it, fine. Takes a sip. And none of them are listening to each other. But unfortunately, the crew that is working on it has to listen to all three of them. So there's a lot of like different things going on. There's a lot of very confused craftspeople plying their trade. And the general sense from everyone around it is the creatives are arguing thing. So all the Akkah soldiers are standing around kind of awkwardly, not really sure what to do. However, there is a very, very harried like assistant or Castilian, an Emily type, who is kind of just darting around in kind of like the weird sort of like butler equivalent of an Akkah outfit. So it's still like a lot of gold and black, and she's wearing like the full black and gold face paint. But is also kind of the hospitality person, just saying like, "Hey everyone, look, I appreciate that the time is burning, but our next window is rapidly approaching. We only have a few minutes until the sun's up, and then we'll be stuck for another 12 hours. So if you could wrap this up, just in the name of Lord Typhus and Lord Emily, that'd be great. Yeah, okay, great, thank you." And they do panic a bit at this, but they're clearly at a crossroads. And eventually there's a lot of swearing. They all storm off in other directions. And the one with the wine just says, "Listen, we'll just run it the same way we have previously for now, and then we'll try and fix it for the next cycle, okay?" And you've got Castilian in my head now. That's all I want to say.
I know.
The Emily just nods and says, yeah, okay, great. Well, then we'll just run it like normal for the next shipment and we'll fix it next time. Okay, thanks. And they all fuck off to different directions. The man with the hat storms off to just a number of easels where he's got different think Leonardo da Vinci style diagrams of the sun. And like all the old, there's lots of dotted lines and big circles and things.
Nice ideas, but they'll never work.
I mean, it just whirligigs, not the best for helicopters. So he's working on that. The orc goes back over to just throws open a tent flap and goes inside. There's a puff of smoke that comes out of the tent as he goes inside, and you can see there's kind of a purplish smoke blowing out of the top, like the hole in the top of the tent. And the lady with the wine checks the bottle, notices it's empty, just kind of tosses it into a pile, grabs a new bottle, and goes and sits on the edge of the cliff to sip her wine. So that is what you see when you arrive at the portal gate.
The people working on the portal, Tom, who have access to it, is it generally regular Akkah soldiers that are kind of working among the structure, just so that we know what we're trying to costume?
Totally, yeah.
If we need to costume, because we might not, because
Yeah.
we're talking about invisibility, but worth just logging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I would say, a 50-50 split of craftspeople and Akkah soldiers.
Right.
The soldiers are doing the same kind of work that you've seen everywhere else, where it's if scaffolding needs replacement, if things need lifting, all that sort of stuff. And then the craftspeople are in there. You can see there's enchanters and a variety of different people working on focus crystals and grinding in little mortar and pestles and throwing kind of powders on things. None of you are wizards. Tyler, maybe Quinny would clock this, but you all hung out with Alan for a long time. It's clear that at this point they are burning a ton of consumable ingredients to make this thing work on the regular. It's not a sustainable process yet, and it's not in any way self-running. So it's almost like you can see them basically performing rituals on various pieces of this to make sure that it'll click on at the appropriate time. The Emily comes back out with a giant hourglass that is almost as big as her because she's a halfling. And she puts it down and is clearly just kind of watching the horizon. It looks like it's about as much sand as you need for a minute.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Butthole would be all right, it's time for us to make this pretty easy.
Yep.
Moss, if we can hide you for a second and get you into that uniform, just in case you have to go uninvisible at any point, then you'll be the best thing to be able to kind of walk in, walk out. Quinny, we'll sneak you in there. Moss, with you being able to be invisible, Quinny, do you need some stealthy footsteps help for yourself if you're going to go in there dressed as you?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Let's blow this fucking thing up. Let's not fuck around. If you don't mind me adding something from the side, Quinny, if I could just talk to you for a second, and he'll just take Quinny a foot
Worried
away.
about getting kissed, but yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Lover's spat.
I'm not here to kiss you. Here's the thing.
What?
Butthole's probably not going to make this order because he's a nice person. But if you can kill one person while you're up there, kill that Emily. It's the only thing. They're the only person keeping this whole damn thing on schedule. Those three creatives will go right up each other's ass the moment there isn't somebody here to organize. And if they send somebody new who doesn't know how to work with these three, and we don't get this thing blown up, they'll still probably pick a fight, pick a favorite. The whole thing will be a fucking disaster for 3 weeks. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just saying if you get a shot,
I will keep
that's
an eye
the
on
dead
that.
person.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, all right. Why did that have to be a secret discussion? Because you don't think Butthole's got the killer in him to say it?
I don't know if Butthole's going to be yeah, kill a competent servant who has not committed crimes, but I'm fine with that.
Yeah, okay. All right. I mean, she works for Typhus and
is bringing the horde here, so
yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah, all right. I'll keep an eye
Butthole
on
on the other side is it's good that they're having this moment before you go. Quinny goes into combat. I want them to feel satisfied.
Quinny comes back.
Okay, we'll wait here, and if something goes bad, I'd say give us a signal, but we're probably going to know, so just go ahead.
All right, Moss, ring of invisibility, here you go. Just
All right.
put it on, think invisible thoughts, and...
I have to think about being invisible?
Okay, I was just trying to have a little fun here. You basically just will it to work, and it works. You just think, I would like to be invisible, and you're invisible.
Okay.
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 Doesn't require any kind of concentration or special anything.
All right. And she puts it on.
Can you imagine if I said roll a d6? I was really thinking about it, but I won't. Because he didn't transform.
Fight you.
You turn invisible. So you turn invisible. You chug the potion, which dampens all the sounds off of your chair, and you proceed to try and make your way up. Go ahead and roll me stealth, please, at advantage.
I would like to be accompanying Moss here as well.
Okay, so you as well. Again, I don't know why, but you can.
Butthole watches them go away, and he's like, "Oh, we should have put Quinny in the uniform." As Quinny goes in street clothes next to an invisible Moss in a costume. It wouldn't have fit him anyways, but still.
16.
But like a kid wearing their parents' clothes, just walking around. 16?
Yeah.
Great.
22.
22. Oh, okay. So because of the sense of urgency that's going on, there's not a lot of attention paid to either of you. And as you kind of start to move in closer, you can see that they're moving a number of the crates up to the base of I was going to call it a Stargate. Fuck it. They're bringing it up to the base of the Stargate. And there's a number of soldiers lining up almost like when people like pallbearers. So one person on either side on the four corners of these big crates, these stacks of crates. And they all look a little bit nervous and are kind of getting psyched up. Where would you like to plant the explosives?
Is that the top of a cliff?
Yes.
I think just along the bottom. Probably two on either side of the gate itself, right close by, and then the stockpiles of.
The quantum cores?
Yeah. And then one on there as well. That's close enough, right? How far away is it?
Well, so people are currently bringing those crates up in front and are on either side. So you can try and sneak up and plant one in there, but that will be a more of a feat.
Why don't we try... Maybe two at the bottom, at the base of the cliff? Is that possible? Or is that
ways away?
It's a big ways away? Okay. Then, you know what? Let's just go for the gate.
Okay.
All around the gate.
Okay. So
We'll just keep it simple for now.
4 around the gate. Quinny, can you roll me a perception check?
18.
18. You notice that Floppy Hat, as he's sketching something, drops his fancy pen, and as he picks it up, he looks back and he looks directly at Moss. He looks directly at Moss, and his eyes kind of go wide, and he says, "Wait, who are you?"
How is this possible?
You tap your own eye.
Yeah. I mean, the answer comes back pretty quick just because it's all right, magic, some magic bullshit. I would like to cast Mage Hand to pull his hat off his head and just let's see how important that shit is to him. And just have
it. Just watching Tom be like, "Fuck! I had 30 ideas of what you could do. None of them were yank his hat."
Okay, I rolled a 2, so on his intelligence save to not flail for the hat. But as the hat blows away, and you can see that he's got he's got luscious hair.
There's a rat under there with its own easel drawing the plans for the portal.
Look, having put a monkey in a mayor's hat before, I can't play the old hits. It's, as much as I'd love a Rakakuni from Everything Everywhere. Yeah, the hat blows away, and he's bald from the hat up.
oh no!
So it's he's just got long hair from there down, and immediately his hands shoot up to it, and he just yells, "Seize them!" as he leaps for the hat. But because he didn't indicate who them is, a lot of the soldiers kind of drop into a fighting stance and are just kind of arbitrarily looking around as he reaches for the hat. Juniper, Moss, you finished planting your last explosive. Can you roll me athletics to see if you can get far enough away?
Sure. 12.
Okay, it's not great terrain, so you're not making great speed. So Quinny, you can see that she's not going to be clear of this for another round. There is still that Emily with the hourglass, though. You to enact Reginald's plan.
Where is Emily?
She's near the site. She's kind of close to the orc's tent, but she's close enough that everyone can see the hourglass, but far enough away to not be in the way. She's very good at her job.
Yeah. This guy being able to see Moss is too much of a wrench in the gears. I'm going to just try and do more subtle stuff to just buy Moss time. I'd like to cast Minor Illusion and just somewhere in the crowd of soldiers who are around this guy who said sees him, just have the sound go, ha ha, as him clutching his bald head.
All right. He turns, he whips around as the hat blows away. I've rolled so badly for this guy.
Thank God.
And it just
These
says,
are not rock solid ideas.
It just says, Dardanos, get out here. And the orc storms out, and he says, my magic eye is having trouble seeing who is doing the laughing. And also, I think there's a strange person there, and we must, and like, Dardanos is just like what are you talking about? I don't see anyone. And he's changing all the glass lenses, being like, I'm trying every spectrum and there's nothing there other than that lady in the chair who's going away. Wait a minute, why is she invisible?
Oh, fuck, fine. I'm ready to shoot at an Eldritch Blast at Emily.
All right.
You made things complicated enough. It's time to make it worse.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll your attack.
First one's going to be 16 to hit. Excuse me. I rolled a 6. It's not plus 10, it's plus 8. 14 to hit.
Okay. That will not do it.
Okay. And then 9 plus 8. 17. Thank you.
That
I don't
one
know
will
what's going on. She gets pushed 10 feet. I'd like to push her into the tent and just have it collapse on her. That probably gives away my position pretty handily.
Oh, yeah, very
Eldritch
much.
Blast is a beam, so it's full on a colored line to where I am.
Do you do damage?
I do, yeah. 3.
Well, you're lucky she doesn't have 1. So she just like holding the hourglass, she's like looking to the horizon and nodding. She starts to turn it over and then just fucking slammed by a beam. The hourglass drops and shatters. And you just hear like a hoop as she's blasted back through the tent and just like a flailing limbs situation. Sand blows everywhere. There's now the guards are very much like, fuck that guy, and make usual angry guard noises.
Right, yeah.
Yep, as they turn toward you, and the sun edges up over the horizon, at which point the first beams hitting the ring, the octagonal ring, light it up, and for the next 60 seconds, a gate into the grimdark realm will be open. Let's roll initiative.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, OMG It's Big Nick, D&D and Things, Schrodinger's Pepper, Guy Edwards, Flea Unit, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Nithrian, Garbo Ape, Locke, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia de los Hoodless, Dio Vassis, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.